I'm kind of waiting for trains, might as well do a little bit of saw work. For me, I hear one coming, but I'm going to wind that out and flip it upside down so it'll fit inside a Husqvarna bar instead of the McCulloch. I want to see if I can put a 24-inch light bar on that one. But anyway, let's see what's going on with the trains. Yeah, what I'm going to do here while I'm waiting for trains is pull the side cover off, which I did, wind that all the way out, flip that around and wind it back in so that the distance from the center line of those bar nuts to the center line of this is further out. And the idea is to get it to where it'll engage with the Husqvarna pattern, right? So, nice little bar, it's just too short. So the other thing I have to do is shim this. I might just get some wire, wrap it around that to shim it so this doesn't flop around on that smaller diameter bar nut. I don't know if I have anything in the truck. I'll look around. But basically you have a lock nut here. It's an old-fashioned steel lock nut, right? And then you have to wind that all the way off. Now that's threaded, obviously. Of course, that's the pawl that goes into the bar, and that's threaded, so you got to wind it all the way out, flip it around, and wind it back in. So what I did was I threaded that in, flipped that around, threaded that in until it bit to where it was a little resistance, and I backed it off about 1/8 of a turn, so now it turns free, right? And now I have, that's just got to be free, that's all. So that doesn't want to be too tight. The lock nut part of that will keep it from coming off. That's where I'm going with it. And then after that slight change by flipping around, now that's far enough away where it actually will go into those, it'll go into those holes right there. So I'm gonna put this old VersaCut on there. Man, that thing's got a lot of time on it. It lived on my 562 for a long time. 24-inch bar, light, and that's a lot of clutch right there. I don't think we're gonna have a problem transmitting power. And we'll lead it out and see if we can get some RPMs out of this thing and make it useful. Hot rod here. So I want to blend this 24-inch VersaCut somewhat light bar to this Pro Max 60, you know. I want to see if I can turn that into a useful saw, kind of like I had done with my Husqvarna 61/272 a few years back, which I gotta also get running again. It needs a new ignition. What I did was got some little flat stock and bent it up, filed a little bit in order to make a shim. And I'll see if I can put that on that saw and get a chain on that thing and see if I can turn that into something I can actually use. The 16-inch bar I had is just too small. I think even an 18 and 20 is smaller than I want for the type of work I want to do. I think the 24 is about right for me for doing those tops, so I can do this kind of thing with Bob. So let me see if I can put it all together, get a chain on there, and then we'll go from there. But I took inspiration from some other folks and decided to turn this into a useful saw. And one of the things I had to do in order to make it work with the Husqvarna bar was flip the bar adjuster, that little pawl in there, and I actually got that from Buck and Billy Ray's channel for a few years back. He had done that. So I saw that and said, okay, I'll start there. So I did. And then I went and found this. Started wrapping that around those bar studs a little bit too thick, and then hit it with a grinder until the bar now slides with that on there, that shim. I might just have to machine one of these out of aluminum or something just to block like those Husky to steel adapters, you know. But we'll see. We'll see how it works. So now I have the shim in there. I had to die grind out the slot in the guide plate so that the pawl on the chain adjuster can reach through and get to the bar. And of course I had to turn that upside down so it would even get close to the Husqvarna mount bar. So, I mean, this is kind of like trying to blend a large tail to a small tail mounting system. That's really what's going on here, you know. But if it works, it works. We'll see. I mean, basically, it shouldn't matter that much if I can get a hold of it good, because the diameter of the sprocket is what directs the top of the chain, the circumference of the sprocket, and then it goes tangent to the bar. So I'm assuming it's going to work. We'll give it a shot. And that's what we end up with. And I had to put a 20-inch right now because I didn't have a chain for the 24. Once I get a chain for the 24, I'll put it on. I had to dig into my carburetor box to get the bits and pieces I needed to put this back together. I took out the needle, put a different needle and spring in there, and a metering lever and all that stuff. I just hung the saw on the side of the bench and pulled it out part way so I didn't have to disconnect all of the linkage and the choke and all that crap. It worked. Well, maybe. We'll see. Well, it runs. A little bit longer bar, oils, so I guess we better get to the woods. But not today because it's pouring rain. But I just wanted to get that running right, and I think I've got it pretty close. I got to lean it out a little bit on top, but I had to fatten it up a little in the bottom so it would start easy. But very, very nice saw. It's tunable. I'm quite surprised.